Apartment buyers overpaying. Let's have a look. Good morning everyone, I'm Florian Heise and welcome to another episode of Heise Says. I thought we would have a look at this article written by Larry Schlesinger from the Financial Review. Buyers ruse overpaying for an apartment. So, by extreme buyer's remorse or stupidity as they're saying, it kind of ties into everything else we're hearing about the market going up, 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 up. It's good time, quick, get in now! Don't have FOMO, fear of missing out. Millennials, you better buy. Quick, we gotta keep this can kicking down the road. I'm just getting too cynical, guys. I'm definitely getting too cynical. So let's have a look at what he's written here. An investor in the Southern Hemisphere's tallest tower, Australia 108, on Melbourne's South Bank, says he has only himself to blame after heavily overpaying for a two-bedroom apartment bought off the plan 4 years ago. Now this is what I like. This is what I like. He has only himself to blame. So here we are seeing, okay, he's probably bitching and moaning and going to the paper and maybe raising awareness of it, but he is taking the blame. So it's not the same victim mentality that we're so used to seeing in the SJW world, which, if you've only watched me because of property stuff, you may not have been exposed to before, guys, but oh boy, there's some people that love being victims. But again, it's the off-the-plan issue. And I have spoken about Australia 108 before. This is an interesting building where they are already occupying portions of the tower while they're still constructing. And they haven't finished bits off. So there's sound reverberating through moving elements of the building. And I guess some people are that keen to go into apartments. They're that keen. The local buyer, who asked not to be named, bought the apartments for $972,000 in 2015 when the market was booming. It measures about 60 square meters and is on the 64th floor of the 100-story skyscraper. 60 square meters, that's 10 by 6. That's not that big. That's not that big. Wow, 2 stories. Oh, sorry, 2-bedroom. With settlement due in December, the apartment has been valued twice at $725,000, a fall of 25%. Now, we're seeing this more and more. Oh, no, we're not. We're seeing one thing reported with one hand, another thing reported with the other hand. I mean, this is the thing buying in 2015. I'll bring up this chart, guys. This is Foreign Investment Review Board data. I know I like to show it a lot, but it's important. Now, see 2014-15? Look at that black line there in that chart. That's foreign investment coming into the country. That black line is showing it as a percentage of building approvals. It's over 90% at one stage. So perhaps that's why, for $900,000, nearly $1 million, a 2-bedroom apartment. Wow. Just think what if that $1 million, what you could invest that in. Maybe in manufacturing or something productive. Or shit, how much silver could you have bought? Hang on, I'm just going to trading economics. How much silver could you have bought for that amount of money? You could have bought a fair bit, guys, a fair bit. So, I'm really upset. I and my wife work day and night and just lost this amount even before we got the keys. It's our own stupidity, really, he said. Well, yeah, that's the funny thing with property. And with a overheated boom, you can just buy and get lucky and make money for doing nothing. I mean, that's what happened to us on our property, and we have bought a real fixer-upper. I'd even say dump, but we got it cheap. Everything else went up, so I made money for doing nothing. Doing nothing. So that's, just remember that with all these property gurus that have bought one and then bought another and bought another, all on interest only. And they've got their patented system they're going to sell you online. Yeah, sure. So having paid a 10% deposit of $97,200, he could be financially better off by walking away than trying to fund the valuation gap. Yes, that is an interesting thing. We've had people leave comments before where they were looking at financing, providing financing brokers for people to buy an apartment. And they bought it off the plan and there was a couple $100,000 gaps, so they had to take another mortgage on another property to fund that gap. What would you do, guys? Would you take the $97,000 loss and walk away? Or would you buy it? Let me know in the comments, guys. Let us know what you would do. I mean, it's Melbourne. It's, you know, it's a beautiful city, I guess, when it's not raining and wet and cold. You know, it's got culture, I guess. You know, and laneways. You love the laneways. I remember the last time I was in Melbourne, because I grew up in Victoria to grade 4, and then we moved to Queensland. Last time I was in Melbourne, I was ringing up, going to Rachel, going, "Oh, I don't know why we ever left. You know, why my parents moved away. It's so nice." And then the next day, it rained. It rained, and then I remembered exactly why. Weather's so much nicer up here. So, I believe the developer should reduce their profits and give us some rebate on the price, said the buyer, who was still considering the best course of action. Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Would the buyer be complaining if the property was now valued at, $1.2 million? Would he then be willing to pay additional to the developer? I think we know. Where. I mean, maybe he should have just had some clauses in his contract written. Would the developer have accepted it? I doubt it. They would have done it their way. So yeah, it's the way the market's going, guys. While valuers say a 25% difference was surprising, valuation shortfalls and falling prices have plagued Australia 108. Its lengthy development and construction period has straddled an entire market cycle, from booming conditions 5 years ago, driven to a large extent by offshore investors, which I just showed you, to the recent crash in apartment sales because of tighter lending rules, higher taxes, and I would say a decline in consumer confidence in that sector. The Australian Financial Review revealed in June that there'd been a 10% cancellation rate at Australia 108 based on figures reported by its developer, Singapore-listed World Class Global. Well, there you go. 10% of people are walking away. I'd be interested to see what those rates normally are. According to these figures, a near 98% sellout reported in September 2017 has fallen back to 88% in June, with more than 100 apartment sales cancelled. Wow. I mean, just think about that. How many apartments you're going to be competing with? What's this? The special part of your apartment is just the view. It's just that's the only point of difference, really. A spokesman for World Class Global did not dispute that some valuations were coming in well below the purchase price. Valuations change in line with the property market and can vary between valuation companies. We are confident in the development's long-term investment value and are committed to working with our buyers throughout the settlement process, the official said. Tony Kelly, Melbourne Managing Director at valuation firm Heron Todd White, says discussions with his local team revealed that a lot of valuations at Australia 108 have gone backwards. You have to remember that when you buy off the plan, you are taking a punt that it may be the right price in 2 years' time or may not be. Yes, he's right there 100%. He is 100% right there. It is insane to buy off the plan. I mean, why would you do it? It's like pre-ordering a computer game. It's the exact same thing, but on a much larger scale. Why would you do it? Why wouldn't you wait until it's built so you can see it? But Florian, I'll miss out. I'm scared. I'll make a profit guaranteed. Real estate always goes up. Yeah, remember that? I've seen it go the other way, where someone has made $100,000 an apartment before it's actually built. Well, yes, we have seen that. So, apartments in Australia 108 were sold at pretty expensive rates, he said. The resale listings for settled apartments in the lower portion of the tower show that values have gone backwards for many owners. I wonder how many of these people are in negative equity. Well, you would be by instant, wouldn't you, if you're having to raise another 300 grand or 200 grand. A one-bedroom apartment on the 29th floor bought for $485. One bedroom for $500,000. Bloody hell. In 2014 is advertised for auction at between $400,000 and $440,000. Another on level 47 bought for $527 is being offered for $497. That's still insane. $500,000. One bedroom, guys. Okay? One bedroom. An investor on discussion forum Property Chat wrote last year that he had changed his mind on buying a 1-bedroom 60 square metre apartment in the tower after the valuation came in 17% lower than the original contract price of $565,000. Well, I think Larry's put together a good article here highlighting some of the issues in this building, and it contrasts with all of the, the arguments and the positions we're getting, that people are putting forward that it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. Well, no, it's not. Here we've got a luxury product in the heart of Melbourne where we're seeing falls of 25%. There you go. So all the people who are saying, no, it's all good, Florian, that the drops are only in the outer suburbs, in Bendigo, and this. Explain this one, boys. Explain this one. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this episode of Heise Says. Let me know what you think. Would you take the loss and walk away, or would you stick with it? Should there be conditions in these contracts that, well, it's a free market, people can put whatever they want, but should buyers be smart enough to put a condition in to say, well, no, maybe the price varies? There's one. Would you purchase off the plan with a varying price, not guaranteeing this fixed one? I wonder if people would do that. Let me know what you think. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Like, share, and subscribe. If you enjoy my content and want to help me produce more, I do have a Patreon and Subscribestar. And I also have affiliate links where you can make a purchase on Amazon Australia and I receive a small commission. It all helps and I really appreciate it. Take care, everyone, and I will talk to you later today. Bye for now.